All right. Day 14 or 15 of getting in front of the camera and talking with no agenda. There's a few ways I could take this today. I could take it towards the feelings of overwhelm that I've been experiencing. I could bring it to, a part of me that worries about miscommunication with my dad, about me miscommunicating to my dad, or rather, him interpreting something that I did not intend. Yeah, let's just talk about that. Fuck it. I feel like I look like shit, first of all. I had a horrible night last night. This past weekend, as you guys know, I stayed in Long Island with my girlfriend and her aunt and her uncle at their house. And they had a Christmas party on Friday, and it was like all the friends of the aunt and the uncle, my girlfriend's dad. And it was a great time. And it got so cold over the weekend. And the next day was my girlfriend's day off. Her days off are sporadic, and we just try to spend at least one of those days together. And so Saturday night was my girlfriend's day off. Obviously, I took that day off too. And we just chilled the hell out. And we got pokey for lunch because there's a place near her, and the pokey is literally the best pokey I've ever had in my life. Also, excuse me, I'm gonna get some Pepto-Bismol right now, and I think, I'm literally about to tell you why. But we had that pokey, and it was delicious as always. And I don't know what happened, but that night at like 4 a.m, I woke up 4:30. I was like, oh no, I am feeling sick. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I don't know how it happened, but it came on so fast. Here's a good old Pepto-Bismol. You see it? Let me get a little less light so you can see the pink. Look, it matches. It matches my little light back there. My little neon light. Ugh. I don't think anything tastes worse than Pepto-Bismol. Ugh. Yucky, guys. So, woke up this morning, Sunday morning, at like 4:30, feeling like shit. And, self-diagnosed myself with food poisoning. And of course, everyone was asleep. I didn't want to wake my girlfriend up, but her being the angel that she is, she was trying to be right there with me through it all and taking care of me and making me tea. And she couldn't sleep because I left the room. I just sat on the floor of the bathroom. I actually laid on the floor of the bathroom. But when you're sick, when you're feeling that horrible illness and you're not at your own home, that's the worst fucking feeling. I don't know of a worse feeling than that. So I was was like 5:15, 5:30, and I was just like, this isn't going away. I need to order. I need to Uber Eats or Uber order some fucking Pepto-Bismol. Because, I mean, the research I had done had said that, okay, it's out of your stomach, which means it's creating sulfur gas. And the sulfur gas is coming out of both ends of you. And it's very nauseating when it comes up your stomach route. Because it tastes like fish, or rotten fish even. And I just kept tasting that pokey over and over again. I was like, it's 15 hours later. There's no fucking way. I still have it in my stomach. Excuse me. And so it got there at 6:14 a.m. The sun was starting to come up. It was so damn cold. It was like 0 degrees. And I stood on that porch and waited for like the Uber Eats lady to like literally hand me the Pepto-Bismol Ultra. And the whole thing was like $21, but I just wanted to feel better, man. She gave it to me. I took the 15 milliliters because it's concentrated. Otherwise, it's 30 milliliters like what I just took. And I really did start to feel better. 30 minutes later, I had a second dose. And after that second dose, I really started to feel better. So I got back in bed and I fell asleep for like an hour. Then we got our day started. My girlfriend went to work. I worked some, which reminds me to make a video soon about my career journey. And oh my God, I felt not good all day. And last night, I mean, this was before the food poisoning came on, but I feel like I've been being pulled. I feel like aside from my career stresses, aside from my piano recital stress, aside from, you know, my family conflicts, I feel like I've been pulled in a million different directions with flying and traveling in these next few months. So I just flew to Vegas for Thanksgiving. That's where my family does Thanksgiving every year. And then my brother and his fiance visited me like last week. They left last Tuesday, so 6 days ago, 6.5 days ago by now. Christmas is coming up. One of my dearest best friends, his mom just died, and the funeral is on the 18th. So I'll be flying back to Los Angeles for Christmas. And by the way, Christmas is in Los Angeles. So fly from New York to Los Angeles for Christmas. Fly to the funeral on the 18th of January in Los Angeles. Then my piano recital's on the 31st in Dallas. So fly to Dallas on the 31st. And when I said earlier, aside from the stresses of my piano recital, what I meant was like the actual learning of the notes. Like I have fucking notes to learn still. And I will be performing them in an auditorium. So that aside, I'm just talking about the traveling. And then right after that recital on the 31st, my girlfriend and I are going to Colombia for her to visit her family. And We'll be there, I think, 10 days, 11 nights. And then my brother's wedding is in March on the West Coast, in Santa Cruz. One of my other best friends has his bachelor party in Hawaii in July. I mean, I just look toward the future. And then his wedding is in Southern California in September. I mean, this is all to say, I look at least at the next 2 months, and I just say, fuck, man. There's so much going on. And flying sucks, and getting in and out of New York is miserable. Taking the fucking train to JFK, getting on the air train, going through security, sitting in that damn terminal, all that construction, sitting on a 6.5-hour flight to Los Angeles. It sucks. It sucks. And then on top of that, I look at all that time and I say, okay, I have enough time to not go crazy, and I have enough time to learn, to finish my piano note, like my piano, learning the song. Like, I'll have just enough time, truly just enough time. And then last night, my dad texts me saying he has news, and my aunt is dying. And he said, I don't remember what it is exactly he said, but the expectation from what his family told him is that it's going to be very soon. Like possibly, and even probably before 2026. And my dad was born and raised in Lebanon. So much of his family is still on that side of the world. It's his sister who lives in Greece. When they left Lebanon during the Lebanese Civil War, she went to Greece and he came to America. I think that's how it went. She's dying. She's fucking dying. And I know it sounds, I know I probably sound selfish, and I truly don't blame you for thinking that. It makes perfect sense why you would think that. But he told me last night, and I have known about her sickness for a long time, but he had asked me, out of me and my brothers, to accompany him so he and I could have quality time together, because he and I hadn't quite done that before. And of course, so I can see my aunt. Although we were never very close. I must have seen her like the number of times we have vacationed or she has visited us and we've all met up, it's been less than 5. And some of those happened when I was very young. And I'm 27. 5 times in 27 years isn't much. But I know what she means to him. I know she means a lot to him. And my dad means a fucking lot to me. And so when he told me last night how he wants us to leave from Los Angeles on the 26th, the day after Christmas, for, 2 weeks, I was with my girlfriend, and I just felt so much overwhelm. I just kept it to myself for a little while. And then, and to be clear, overwhelm about like just the sheer amount of traveling and commitments I have in the next couple of months. But as soon as my girlfriend and I sat on her uncle's couch, and her aunt was in the kitchen, and her uncle was upstairs feeling ill himself, I think she asked me what's wrong, and I just started crying. Truly, just, it's like, and those are all of the traveling and the commitments that I'm talking about. Those do not even include the career stress, the having to learn the piano before the 31st of January stress, the family conflict stress. And the family conflict stress is not minimal at all. It just got to be too much in that moment. I just started to fucking cry. And she held me. You know, and a part of me felt like I was letting her down, because leaving on the 26th, she's going to spend New Year's alone, and I know that it's important for her Colombian culture, because she's Colombian. I mean, she was born in America, but lived a lot of her life in Colombia. Truly, overwhelm is the word. I was just crying and crying and crying, like a lot. And she just held me. And my dad and I had spoken about this trip for a few times back and forth before he texted me last night. You know, a few weeks ago he told me, I think we need to leave on the 26th. And I think that was before my friend's mom died. Yes, I think it was. Whose funeral I'm also attending. And then he called the doctor, and the doctor said, no, she's not terminal. My aunt. And so my dad called me and said, no, we're not going to go yet. I said, okay. Like, obviously, I'm happy my aunt isn't dying yet. But like, I would be lying if there wasn't a part of me that just like wasn't feeling the overwhelm regardless. And both of those things can exist, can coexist. Wanting her to be alive for longer out of just natural human compassion, and being overwhelmed for my own self-centered reasons. Both of those coexist. I'll probably get some hate for that, but it's how I feel. That's just how I feel. So he told me, you know, we'll visit later. There's no need to visit right now, was his point. I said, okay, perfect. That gives me some more breathing room. In addition to her being around for longer, that gives me some more breathing room. And then he texted me last night just saying, I have news. I texted him saying, hey, I was going to ask you over Christmas, but would you like to come fly to Dallas for my piano recital? I'm going to talk to the rest of the family about it later. He said, of course, I'll be there. I also have news. And then he shared with me, we have to leave on the 26th of December, that is. And when I was responding to him, I just hope to God that I didn't express I truly want to go with him. I don't want one of my other brothers to go with him for my own selfish reason. Again, I want this time with my dad. I want to be the man who he can lean on for this trip, seeing his fucking sister die. I want to share this experience with him. I'm dying to, really. I want to be there for him the way that he's been there for me. I'm about to cry now. And I think just the way that I was talking to him, like the way I was responding to him over text was, I was saying, like, are we sure? Like, I feel like we've gone back and forth with the state of her health. Like, are we sure that her health is calling for us to visit ASAP? Are we sure? I'm trying to figure out so that I can honor all of my commitments and be there for you and for my aunt. And yeah. And I pray to God that he didn't take it the wrong way. Because it makes perfect sense why someone would hear what I'm saying and say, like, man, fuck this guy, he's not here for me. And I desperately want to be there for him. It doesn't erase the fact about how much shit is going on in my life right now. But whatever it is, I'll adjust. Truly, whatever it is, even if it means not playing my piano recital that I've been preparing for a year, or not going to my best friend's mother's funeral, or whatever. Like, I will be there for him. I will. I was just hoping to, I guess, just truly hear, get a rock solid answer as to what the status is of my dying aunt. So I could see her, and so I could be there for my dad, and so that I can spend this time with my dad. And I just truly, when I was saying miscommunication earlier, I pray to God he didn't take it the wrong way, because it's made me feel sick all day. You know what I mean? I guess that's probably it for today. Looks like this is sideways or crooked. How's that? Better? Yeah, I don't know. Jesus, guys, the last 24 hours have been difficult for whatever reason. You name it. Yeah, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. I suppose I'll leave it at that. I hope you guys have a wonderful Monday night. If you stuck around this long, thank you. If you like this style of video, me simply talking, raw, completely unedited, I would love if you subscribed. I would love to build a community here of I'm thinking of this on the fly, but I guess of just where vulnerability truly is okay. And where life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. So yeah, thank you. Have a good night.